the forgiveness of our sins. Can we have a loud salawat, please? For the Zuhur of Qaim Ali Muhammad, can we have a loud salawat, please? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب إله العالمين الذي قيل في شانه وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين أعني أبي القاسم محمد الصلاة والسلام على أهله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال سفا أستغفر لكم ربي إنه هو الغفور الرحيم صدق الله العلي العظيم. Can we have a loud salawat, please? Alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jal, the Merciful, has blessed us with enough life that today we have gathered here to remember that Imam who has the title of Babul Hawaij. Babul Hawaij means that door in front of which all of your du'as are accepted in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. And we are grateful to Allah Azza wa Jal that every single Imam that Allah Azza wa Jal has given us, from Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam to Imam Mahdi ajjalallahu faraju sharif, that every single Imam that we have, we can say that every single Imam, he is Babul Hawaij. Because it is our faith and it is our Iman and it is our belief that no matter which Imam's name we say, and we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to accept our prayer, we are certain that with the names of A'imma alayhi salatu wassalam, every single dua that we do is accepted. And this is only our faith and our school of thought that can say this, that our Imams are pure from any sort of sin. Whether it is a sin which is physical or it is a sin which is spiritual, it is only the Imams of Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam that can say that they are tahir, that they are ma'soom. No other school of thought can say that the Imams that they believe in or the Imams that they have chosen to follow, they are pure from sin. But these are the only pure, infallible Imams that have not just been made by the people. Because if we look in the world, when people want someone to become a leader, when the people want to choose a spiritual successor, if they want someone to become their leader, what do? They choose amongst themselves a person who they believe has the utmost authority, and they choose to follow that person. But it is only our religion, that it is our faith, that if we want to find a Hadi, if we want to find a leader, if we want to find an Imam, then only Allah Azza wa Jal himself can appoint an Imam. Because this status of leadership, this status of imamat, it is not just limited to this world. Because if it was limited to only this world, then we would have been happy with the imams or the leaders chosen by the people. Because a leader reflects how the people are. If we have a community who in majority are sinful, then we cannot say that the leader that they have chosen, he is infallible. Because the leader is amongst the people. But if we want to find Sirat-e-Mustaqim, if we want to go on the path that leads us towards Allah, if we want to go on the path that connects us with Jannah, if we want to go on that path that moves us away from Jahannam, then we need to believe that any imam which has been chosen by Allah. Any imam that we decide to follow, he has been appointed by Allah. Because it is the job of the imam, it is the job of the leader to move us towards Allah. And the only purpose that we have in this life, that we want to move away from these temporary temptations that we have in this world. We want to move our spirit and our body towards Allah. And that's why in front of you I have recited from Surah Yusuf, verse number 98, in which Allah Azza wa Jal says, قَالَ سُفَا أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَبِّي إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. This verse is about the time of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Now every single person knows that Hazrat Yusuf was a prophet of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Hazrat Yusuf was that prophet of Allah that when he was born, his brothers started to make plans against him. Why? Because his brothers were jealous of the status and the love that Hazrat Yusuf's father had for Hazrat Yusuf. Why? Because the father of Hazrat Yusuf was a prophet. And he knew that my son is also going to be a prophet. And when the brothers realized that from all of us brothers, Hazrat Yusuf has been selected by Allah to be a prophet, to be a leader, to be an imam, what did these people do? They started to plan against Hazrat Yusuf. And we see that on many occasions, the brothers of Hazrat Yusuf, they tried to cause Hazrat Yusuf harm. And then we see that eventually, the brothers of Hazrat Yusuf, they threw Hazrat Yusuf into a well. And they left Hazrat Yusuf in that well with the certainty that the brothers knew that Hazrat Yusuf will meet his end inside the well. But they did not have proper yaqeen in Allah Azza wa Jal. Because Allah says that Allah has vowed to protect Nabuwwat and Imamat. No matter what happens, the protector of Nabuwwat and Imamat is Allah Azza wa Jal. No person can bring any harm to this silsila of Nabuwwat and Imamat. But these brothers, they thought that by throwing Hazrat Yusuf into the well, they would stop this silsila of prophethood. and that their father would choose a prophet from amongst the brothers. But what happened? That even though they threw Hazrat Yusuf into the well, we see that many years later, the same brothers of Hazrat Yusuf come to Egypt. And they see that the person who is in charge of Egypt at that time, he is Hazrat Yusuf. But these brothers did not recognize that the person who is the king of Misr, he is their brother. Because Allah had temporarily put a ghaibat on the life of Hazrat Yusuf. And when these brothers eventually realized that they had committed a mistake, they asked Hazrat Yusuf ﷺ to forgive them. And this is when this verse was revealed, and Allah says, and Hazrat Yusuf said, I will ask Allah for His forgiveness for you. Because Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. Allah is the most forgiving. And there is a lesson for us. In the stories from the Quran and from the stories of A'imma alayhi salatu wassalam. Today we have come to remember the Imam Musa Kazim alayhi salatu wassalam. And I have mentioned this in every single Majlis, that when we come to the Imam Bargah, when we bring our children, when we bring the youngsters and the youth to this institution of love, hidayat and harmony, our purpose is that even though the elders know most of the religion now, because they have spent their life listening to ulama, listening to zakirin, they now understand the religion. They have understood the religion in a language which they found easy and a language which they speak. But this modern age that we have, this modern technology that we see, this social media that we have, this now expects a language which is acceptable in the world.
Yes.
And that language is the language of English. And if we want to spread the religion of Al Muhammad even further, then we need to make use of this English language. And we need to explain to our youngsters and the youth that the reason why we remember A'imma alayhi salatu wassalam, because it is our belief that by listening to their lives, we can bring an inqilab into our life. By understanding their lives, we can change our lives and we can connect with Allah Azza wa Jal. So what is the lesson from this ayat? The lesson is that no matter how many people cause you problems and issues, no matter how much zulm the world does upon you, even if it is your own brothers, the Prophet is saying that you need to forgive them for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. You need to learn forgiveness, because if we want to move forward and become successful in this world and find a place in the hereafter where we are close to Al Muhammad, then we need to learn the first lesson from all of the lives of the Imams, and that is sabr, and that is forgiveness. And we see that the Imam that we have come to remember, 14 years of the Imam's life was spent in a prison. These are those 14 years that he was in prison. But most of the Imam's life, when the Imam became Imam, he was under house arrest, then he was in a prison in Basra, and then he was moved to Baghdad. what is the reason why the enemies of Ali Muhammad, why they always had enmity against the household of the Prophet? The reason is because the Islam that they were trying to spread, the leaders that they were trying to be, the Imams that they wanted themselves to be, they were trying to be leaders for the world. But the Imams of Ali Muhammad are not just leaders for the world, but they are preparing your soul, they are preparing you spiritually for the hereafter. Because this world that we have, it is a temporary place. And through the zikr of Ali Muhammad, we can connect with Allah Azza wa Jal. MashaAllah. Allah Azza wa Jal says in Hadith Qudsi that I have given mankind 4 bounties. I have given mankind 4 bounties. But unfortunately, these people do not look for that bounty in the place that I have put it. They are trying to look for that bounty somewhere else. What is the first bounty that Allah Azza wa Jal has given us? Allah Azza wa Jal says that I have given mankind saqoon. I have given them peace. But peace and saqoon lies in paradise. But unfortunately, mankind is looking for this inner peace in the world. That is our first mistake. Because Allah is saying that peace and saqoon is in Jannat. And we are looking for this peace, this inner saqoon in the world. The second thing, Allah says that I have put knowledge inside hunger and patience. Knowledge is in hunger. Knowledge is in patience. Those people that are studying in college and university, they will understand that to learn knowledge, to learn any ilm, whether it is religious or the worldly knowledge, it does not come easy to you. It's not like that you purchase it online, you put a USB inside and you download this ilm onto the hard drive in your head. Knowledge is not that simple. But if you want to acquire knowledge, then you have to stay awake at night. You have to study books. You have to discuss knowledge if you want knowledge to sink inside. Many nights you spend not sleeping and studying. Many nights you spend not even eating because you are worried about the upcoming test or exam. Allah says that knowledge is in hunger and patience. But unfortunately, Allah says that these people think that they can purchase knowledge. Knowledge is that thing that is not, you are not able to purchase it. That's why Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says that we are happy, we are content in what Allah Azza wa Jal has given us. Allah has given our enemies wealth, but Allah has given us Ali Muhammad knowledge. Imam Ali is saying this. He is saying that we are content in what Allah has given us. He has given the enemies wealth, but He has given us knowledge. Wealth is that thing that the Imam says that when a flood of fire strikes, the wealth of a person can be destroyed. But Imam Ali says that knowledge is that bounty from Allah Azza wa Jal that will stay with us until the day of Qiyamah. Knowledge is that gift from Allah Azza wa Jal that will stay inside your heart until the day of judgment. And the third thing, Allah Azza wa Jal says that we have given you respect and honor. And respect and honor can be found in the night prayers. And those prayers that you read on your own accord, excluding the 5 prayers that we have, Allah is saying that if you want respect, if you want honor, if you want izzat, then Allah says pray the night prayers. Pray when you are all alone, when nobody is watching you, when it is you and your Lord Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah says that when you are alone and you remember me when you are alone, I will shower you with respect and honor. I will give you a place in the world. Because Allah says in Hadith al-Qudsi that if you walk towards me slowly, then I will come towards you with speed. Allah says that if you take one step towards me, then I will come all towards you. Allah Azza wa Jal says that if you do my zikr when you are alone, then I will do your zikr when we are in assembly, when we are in a Majlis. And look at the difference of us remembering Allah in Majlis, and look at the Majlis of Allah Azza wa Jal. Our Majlis is when mu'mineen come together, when believers come together. But the Majlis of Allah Azza wa Jal is when the prophets are sitting in front of Allah, the Imams are sitting in front of Allah, the angels are sitting in front of Allah, and Allah is doing your zikr. If you do the zikr of Allah, then this is how Allah will repay you, by doing your zikr in a Majlis which is taking place in heaven. But unfortunately Allah says that these people think that they can get respect and honor by walking with someone of the world. For example, some people think that if an MP comes and we spend all day walking around with that MP, people are taking pictures, people think that that person, he is honored and he is given respect because he is associated with so-and-so. But do we want that respect and honor which is limited to this world? Or do we want that respect which will take us directly into Jannah? Because we are associated with hope. When people see us, what do they say? They say he is a Shia, he is a Rafzi. What does that mean? Who are we associated with? They are not associating us with the thugs of Medina. They are not associating us with the thieves of Makkah. But whenever someone says the word Shia, automatically, if he is a Muslim or a non-Muslim, he will know that his institute is in Najaf. He is a follower of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Automatically, people will think that he is a follower of Imam Ali. And that is the biggest honor and respect that we Shi'an Haideria Qarrar have, that no matter what we do, we are associated with Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. And because we are associated and we are linked with Imam Ali, aren't there any responsibilities amongst our shoulders? Because we are directly linked with Imam Ali. Look at the world. Let me give you an example of the world. If a councillor or an MP has someone working in his staff will try their utmost not to damage the image of the MP that they are following or who they are working for. But we need to remember that we are associated with Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. So there are certain responsibilities on our shoulders that we need to fulfill being the followers of Imam Ali. And the last point, and then I will pass the minbar on to my respected Al-Madin. The last thing that Allah Azza wa Jal says is that I have put the acceptance of dua inside halal rizq. We are always faced with the problem. Many people have come here today because they have certain du'as inside their heart. But Allah is saying that if you want your du'as, if you want your prayers to be answered, then look for the acceptance of your prayers inside halal rizq. Feed your children halal. Eat halal yourself. Because the sixth Imam says that even if you eat a grain of rice's worth of haram, then one day it will show its effect. And this is the reason why we have many problems, especially living in the Western world. We don't always look into the matters of halal and haram. We assume wherever it says suitable for vegetarians, we automatically think it is halal. Or wherever it says halal, we automatically think that that is permissible to eat. But as elders, as fathers of our children, it is our responsibility that we look into what we are feeding our children. Because if we want this link of wilayat and imamat to stay fresh, if we want the nur of Ali Muhammad to brighten our lives and our hearts and our minds, then we need to eat and dress and look and walk and talk like Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam want us to do. Because we can only connect with the Imam if we change our life. We can only connect with the Imam if we change ourselves, not just physically, but spiritually. And this brings me to Imam Musa Kazim alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Musa Kazim alayhi salatu wasalam, as I said, spent 14 years of his life locked up in prison. But did the Imam change in any way? Did the Imam stop doing tabligh whilst the Imam was inside prison? One of the stories linked to the Imam that when Harun Rashid wanted to kill Imam Musa Kazim, he called a panel of scholars. And he said to the scholars that I have tried everything to kill Imam Musa Kazim. But I want to kill him in such a way that the people do not blame me for his death. Tell me a way that I can kill Imam Musa Kazim and not even get blamed for it. So the Qazis, the ulama that he called, one of them got up and said that the best way to kill Imam Musa Kazim is that if you get a woman and you send this woman into the cell of Imam Musa Kazim, and if she accuses Imam Musa Kazim, then that will give us the authority to kill Imam Musa Kazim. Azadara, these people did not understand who Ali Muhammad were. They did not understand who the Imams of Allah were. Because if they knew, then they wouldn't do this. This woman, she comes to the cell of Imam Musa Kazim and she looks inside. Azadaro, it is enough for us to cry that when this woman looks inside the cell of Imam Musa Kazim, she sees that there is no one inside. But there is a cloak on the floor. She runs back to Harun Rashid and she says that you said to me that there is a person inside the cell. But the only thing that I see, that there is a cloak on the floor. He says that Imam Musa Kazim, he is underneath the cloak. When she comes back, Imam Musa Kazim, from underneath the cloak, he raises his hands and he says, "Oh woman, I know why you have come here today. I know that they have sent you so that you can accuse me." Listen to the words of Imam Musa Kazim. Imam Musa Kazim looks at this woman and he begins to cry. And he says, "Oh woman, I have 17 daughters in Medina. I have 17 daughters in Medina." This is the reason why we cry for Imam Musa Kazim. The last words of the Shahadat of Imam Musa Kazim Azadaro, the last words that I want to say: on the day of judgment, there will be two prisoners that will be raised in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. One is Imam Musa Kazim, who will come in front of Allah. He will have chains around his body. Azadara, do you want to listen to the second person that will come on the day of judgment in front of Allah? That is the 4-year daughter of Imam Hussein. Her name is Sakina bint